Gestational diabetes is a type of diabetes that develops during pregnancy and usually goes away after the baby is born.
Yeah, when I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes, I was nervous. I was scared. I don't know what I have to do.
I remember getting teary and upset, wondering if it was going to be harmful for my baby. But looking back, I think I managed reasonably well, and fortunately didn't have any problem having the baby, and the baby was fine as well.
It's important to manage gestational diabetes during the pregnancy because of the implications, particularly for the woman and for her baby during the pregnancy. So women are at increased risk of developing preeclampsia, which is the high blood pressure of pregnancy.
Although gestational diabetes won't cause your baby to be born with diabetes, it is important to manage it because your baby may grow too big. This can cause problems such as the need for a caesarean birth. Gestational diabetes also increases the risk of mother and child developing type 2 diabetes later in life. Diabetes develops when the amount of glucose, or sugar, in the blood becomes higher than normal. Glucose comes from certain foods we eat, called carbohydrates. These foods travel down to the stomach, then the intestine, where they are turned into glucose and moved into the bloodstream. A hormone called insulin, which is made in the pancreas, helps glucose move from the bloodstream into the body's cells, where it can be used by the body for energy. During pregnancy, the body needs more insulin than usual. Gestational diabetes occurs if the pancreas isn't able to make enough insulin. Women who are more likely to develop gestational diabetes include women over 35 years of age, women with a family history of type 2 diabetes, women who are overweight, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander women, women from certain ethnic backgrounds, and women who have had gestational diabetes during previous pregnancies. 1 in 20 pregnant women in Australia has gestational diabetes, but this is much higher in some population groups. Gestational diabetes is diagnosed with special blood tests. These tests are usually done when the woman is between 24 to 28 weeks pregnant. However, it may be done earlier for women with many risk factors for gestational diabetes. Gestational diabetes is managed with healthy eating, being active, checking your blood glucose levels, and some women might need to take insulin. It is important to see a dietitian who will help you with healthy eating for you and your baby. They can also help you to make healthy food choices for managing your blood glucose levels and maintaining a healthy weight.
Diet is one of the most important ways of managing gestational diabetes because the foods that you eat affect the glucose in your blood, and by changing your diet you can actually manage your blood glucose levels. And I encourage women with gestational diabetes to have small, regular meals to satisfy their appetite, monitor their weight gain, and have a small amount of carbohydrate at each meal and snack.
Carbohydrate foods provide our bodies with important nutrients and energy. They are very important for you and your baby and are found in many foods we eat. You should try to eat carbohydrate foods that are high in fibre and low GI because they release glucose into your bloodstream more slowly. They also make you feel satisfied for longer and help manage your weight. Foods containing carbohydrates include breads and breakfast cereals, pasta, noodles, rice, couscous and burgle. Vegetables. Starchy vegetables such as potato, sweet potato and corn should be eaten in small portions because they are high in carbohydrates. All other vegetables contain minimal carbohydrates, so you can eat as much of the low carbohydrate vegetables as you like. Legumes, such as lentils and chickpeas. All fresh fruits are fine to eat in small serves. Low-fat varieties of milk, yogurt, dairy products and desserts. Women need to eat more foods that contain iron, folate and calcium during pregnancy because they're important for the health of both mother and baby.
Good sources of iron include red meat such as lamb, chicken, legumes, tofu and unsalted nuts. And folate can be found in many fruits and vegetables, especially broccoli, bok choy, cauliflower, asparagus, dark green leafy vegetables like spinach, strawberries, bananas and oranges. Legumes are also a great source of folate, and many breakfast cereals now have folate added to them. Calcium can be found in cow's milk, calcium fortified soy milk, reduced fat yogurts and cheese, nuts and tahini. Women should have less foods that are really high in sugar, like soft drink, lollies, chocolates, baked biscuits and cakes and pastries, because these foods can really increase blood sugar levels. And this also applies to foods that are high in saturated fat or unhealthy fats, like takeaway and processed foods, fatty meats, cheeses that are high in fat, fried snacks and deep fried meats. Try to reduce the amount of sugar, fat and salt used in your cooking. Choose good oils like canola, rice bran and olive oil over unhealthy ones like butter, ghee, cream, coconut milk and coconut cream. Cut the fat from around your meat. Grill and bake instead of fry food, or try using an oil spray. For example, roti, chapati, naan and samosa can be baked rather than fried. Choose reduced fat feta cheese and make labneh using reduced fat yogurt. Healthy snacks to choose would be a tub of reduced fat yogurt, some cheese, a slice of toast, some baked beans, a boiled egg or some fruit. This healthy diet for gestational diabetes is not just for you, it's for your whole family, so it will help you to reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes, and we encourage physical activity and a healthy lifestyle for the rest of your life. So you can still have small amounts of low glycemic index carbohydrates, but really your plate should be made up with a small amount of carbohydrate and the rest of it should be vegetables and also protein foods, and those protein foods will help to fill you up. And if you're unsure about your diet or anything about the diet for gestational diabetes, you really need to speak to your dietitian.
The plate model is helpful when preparing meals. Half your plate should include non-starch vegetables or salad. Quarter of your plate is carbohydrate foods, and another quarter is protein food. Some people believe that women should eat more during pregnancy because baby needs lots of food, and that if you gain lots of weight, your baby will be healthier. Gaining too much weight during pregnancy will make it harder to manage your diabetes and the birth. Talk to your healthcare team if you feel you're gaining too much weight. Regular activities such as walking or swimming can help you to keep a healthy weight, keep you fit and healthy, prepare for the birth of your baby, and lower your blood glucose levels. Anything that gets you moving is generally good for your diabetes.
So the sorts of activities that women with gestational diabetes during pregnancy might be able to do are fairly simple activities that include going for a walk after a meal, playing with your children, doing some dancing with your children, things that can actually be really enjoyable, and they don't necessarily need to be really physical exercise. You don't need to go to the gym to get exercise. It can just be really simple activities. Doing the washing, doing the dishes, standing up while you're doing some of those activities, doing the house cleaning, making the beds, all of those simple things can actually help to bring the blood sugars down.
Some women may not feel comfortable exercising in public or on their own, or believe strong physical exercise may put a strain on the baby. You may feel more comfortable going for a walk with your husband, partner or family, taking your children to the park, playing with them around the house, or doing gardening and housework. Some local swimming pools have aerobic classes for women when the pool is only open to women from specific religions and cultural groups. Your local council can provide you with more information. You could buy a pedometer. This is a small device that counts your daily steps. It will measure just how much walking you're doing. Aim to walk 10,000 steps each day. Avoid too much TV and sitting down for long periods. Try to aim for 30 minutes of exercise every day. Regularly checking your blood glucose levels will help you to manage your diabetes. It is useful for understanding how the foods you eat and the physical activity you do affects your blood glucose levels. It also helps you to know when you may need to change your diet and exercise, or seek help to make those changes. Recording your blood glucose levels in a record book or sheet is important so you can discuss the results with your diabetes team at each appointment. Your doctor or diabetes educator will tell you the ideal blood glucose level for you. You will also have other tests during your pregnancy to help you manage your diabetes and make sure you and your baby are healthy. These include ultrasounds, blood tests, checking and listening to the baby's heart, feeling the baby, and checking your blood pressure and weight.
I needed to check the blood glucose levels to ensure that my sugar levels were in the optimal range, and that if in case they were high, then maybe I needed to go on insulin. So for that reason, I needed to keep a tab on them.
When women are managing their gestational diabetes, we always start first with diet and lifestyle modification, and that's really important. But we know that even with the absolute best intentions and the best effort that women can make, sometimes diet and lifestyle isn't enough. And that can often be due just simply to the genetic makeup of these women.
Insulin is needed when the sugar levels are outside of the target range that's recommended by your hospital that you're attending.
In pregnancy, we use insulin injections because we know they are safe for you and for the baby. Many women are very concerned about this. The injections are given into the tummy or into the top of the leg, most usually the tummy, and most importantly, they're not going to hurt the baby.
If insulin is required, your diabetes educator or doctor will show you how to inject it. The injected insulin will help to lower your blood glucose level to within a range that is best for your baby's growth and development. It does not harm your baby. Your diabetes team will regularly review your blood glucose levels and advise you of the correct insulin doses to take. Remember, the injection of insulin will not harm your baby. Insulin will usually be stopped after the baby is born. Once you have had gestational diabetes, you're at a higher risk of developing diabetes later in life. The hospital or your GP will organise a test around 6 weeks after your baby is born to check that the diabetes is gone.
So the 6-week postnatal glucose tolerance test is exactly the same test that you had to diagnose your gestational diabetes.
Women who have had gestational diabetes are more likely to develop type 2 diabetes later in life. If you have another pregnancy, there's a very high chance of developing gestational diabetes again. Breastfeeding is good for both mother and baby. It helps the mother to lose weight and can reduce the risk of the mother developing diabetes later in life. You can reduce your risk of developing type 2 diabetes by eating healthy, staying active, and keeping a healthy weight. Even if your test after the birth of your baby shows that you do not have diabetes, it is important to test for diabetes every year and before any future pregnancies. Gestational diabetes is managed by healthy eating, keeping active, monitoring your blood glucose levels, and medication if needed. It is important to have regular checkups with your healthcare team to get the best care for you and your baby.
Having had gestational diabetes, I know that I am significantly at risk of getting type 2 diabetes in the future, and for that reason I'm quite mindful of the lifestyle choices that I make.
You can prevent getting gestational diabetes by watching their weight and eating a healthy diet.
You don't have to change anything about how you run your home, but the way you eat.
My main motivation was to have a healthy baby at the end, and that's what I think I got because I was doing my exercise and maintaining my diet.
Hi, I'm Susan Baker, a licensed physician and gynecologist. In my research on gestational diabetes, I've found one site that really stands out above the rest. It's the best information resource on how to safely and effectively manage gestational diabetes. If you're an expecting mother, visit gestationaldiabetics.com or click the link below. I recommend it to all my clients, and they all say it's been truly amazing.